Worst nightmare, don't run out of drinks the next time you throw a party. Jessica Crozer joins us again in the Price Chopper kitchen. So she's going to tell us how much we should actually be pouring up, serving up of our favorite drink, and how much our guests are actually going to take.
Right. So that's always the question of like, how much should I buy? Because I don't want to run out, but I also don't want to have like cases of alcohol left in my house afterwards. So
yeah. You don't want it to go bad, right?
Right, right.
So how do we know how much is enough?
Okay, so it takes a little bit of math and a little bit of knowing who your guests are and what they like to drink and how much they typically drink. But in general, you'll want to ask questions like, you know, how many people are you expecting? And then how heavy of drinkers are they? Are they light drinkers, medium drinkers, heavy drinkers? And then what types of alcohol do they like to drink?
Oh, see, that's such a thoughtful host, like trying to have something for everyone, or at least like for the most people there.
Right. So like for a light drinker, if you're having a 3-hour party, like a dinner party for light drinkers, then planning out 1 drink per hour per guest. So if you have 10 guests for 3 hours, it's 30 hours. And 1 drink per hour, so about 30 drinks. And
that's some simple math, but I think it actually really works here because it kind of gives you the average per person.
Right, the average per person. Some people are gonna drink a little bit more, some people will drink less. With a normal bottle of wine, this, depending on how heavy you pour, is between 4 to 6 glasses. So if you are trying to do 30 drinks, then you would want 5 bottles.
Okay. Okay. So how do I decide what to serve? Is this again with that question and answer?
Right. So again, knowing your guests, you know, my friends typically lean more towards the wine side, less away from the heavy liquor side. So I usually buy much more wine than liquor. But as a general rule, you'll want the most in beer, the second most in wine, and the least amount in liquor. So people drink more beer and wine than they do heavy liquor. So.
Okay, that's some really good advice. Now, we're turning our clock to the end of the night, right? The dreaded cleanup. We've got all this left up, or maybe even throughout the night, like half-drank beverages. How do we make cleanup easy?
So I always make sure my dishwasher is completely empty before the party starts.
Perfect.
That way, if you have glasses, then you can just stack them in there real quick, and you're not trying to unload and load. That makes it so much harder. Another tip that I like to, we usually keep our trash can in like our pantry. I pull it out so that people see it and they're not like, oh, where do I put this? And then end up putting it on the coffee table or the end table. But that visual cue of like, oh, here's where I can store it.
Yeah, I think it's like the flashing neon sign that says like, put it here.
Yes, exactly.
Just take care of it
yourself. If you have recycling, make sure you have a recycling bin out. That people know that that's what that is. So.
And then do you have any other tips, or are those kind of like the biggest ones?
Those are the biggest ones for cleanup. Just in general, I always recommend having bottles of water ready for people. I mean, you could have glasses of water as well, but bottles of water people can just grab, and if they don't drink the whole thing, they'll take it with them. But always balancing alcohol with good regular water is a successful night usually.
You're like giving people a gentle nudge to make good decisions.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, Jessica, thank you so much. And you know, maybe we'll enjoy the rest of the sangria just to celebrate. Okay, so for more great ideas and fresh dish recipes, visit mypricechopper.com. You can also find demo videos to get extra how-to help.